Hello everyone, in this segment we are going to see different type of join operation. So first we will see that we can specify a join relation in a from clause. So for all the example we have seen in the select statement, generally we use a from clause to select the list of tables. Okay, but in a from clause we can also specify a joint relation. Okay, not just one relation, we can specify a joint relation. So looks like any other relation, but yeah, the joint relation will be a result of a join. Okay, and that will allow the user to specify different type of joins. For example, there are different type of joins: inner join, natural join, left outer join, right outer join, and cross join or full outer join. And we'll see example from the in the next slide. Each join type specify a different query and it can produce different results. So now we are going to see different type of join. So the first join we are going to see inner join, and the inner join is the regular join operation. So in chapter 4, means in basic SQL, we saw that if we need more than one tables to retrieve a record, in that case we can use a join condition to find the relevant query. Okay, to find the relevant tuples. So for example, let's see one example. So let's say we want to retrieve the employee names with the names of the department they work for. Okay, so in that case we have to actually for employee we can find the employee name from the employee table, but employee table has only the DNO, means the department number where they work. But for the department number, for the department name, we have to find it in the department table. Okay, so that means we have to use two tables, employee and department, and to find the relevant record where department D number is same as employee DNO, we have to write a join condition. Okay, now we are familiar with this join query with a join condition. All right, now the same query can be written using joint tables. What we can do, we can write the query like that. The joint tables, okay, the joint tables we can use in a from clause. So it is going to look like that. So we are going to select the attribute from department as D, join employee as E on D dot D number equals to E dot DNO. So this joint relation is going to create a separate relation. Okay, it is going to create a temporary relation. It is going to create a temporary relation by joining department and employee on, it's a special operator we are using, and this join will be created based on the condition, this join condition. Okay, and it will create a temporary joint relation, and after we created a temporary joint relation we can select a list of attribute from that joint relation. Okay, so that's how we can specify a joint relation in the from clause. And this is an example of inner join. All right, so inner join is a regular join. So in this inner join, whenever we find a related tuple, relevant tuple where the attribute matches with both of this relation, it is going to find that result. Okay, all right, now in the inner join we are using a condition where dot D number equals to E dot DNO. All right, now what happens, let's see one example. Let's see, we have an employee table and we have a department table. Okay, so employee table has DNO and department table has D number attribute. Okay, all right, now we can have some employee who works in say department 1 2. Now let's see the employee 3 doesn't work in any department, so the DNO value is null. Okay, all right, now we can have actually like more than one department, more than two department 1 2 and 3. Now in this employee table there is no record with D number 3. All right, because let's see, no there is no employee in the department 3 yet. Say we haven't assigned any employees in department 3 yet. Okay, it's a new department. All right, so in this scenario what happens when we write a join condition? So the join when we write when we implement a inner join, so the inner join is going to find only the employees where it has a matching tuple with employee DNO. So if we had an employee with null for DNO, that will not appear in this query result. Okay, and if we have a department that doesn't have any matching employee record, means the department is still new, that doesn't have any employee yet, so that will not be also in the query result that we have seen in this query. So if we want to see all the employee and all the department whether they have any matching tuples with the department number or not, okay, if we want to see all of them, in that case we have to come up with a different type of join known as outer join. So the outer join will give the option to include every employee record, okay, or every department record in the query result. So if a record that doesn't have a matching joint record will be padded with an imaginary null record from the other table. Okay, now in the outer join we have two type of outer join, left outer join and right outer join. So let's see, we have two tables, employee and department. So let's say we want to retrieve the employee names with the names of department they work for. Every department must appear in the result even if it doesn't have any employee. Okay, so so we want to find the employee names with the name of department they work for. Okay, now some of the department, I mean every department should appear even it doesn't have any employee. Okay, so what actually we are looking for, every department should be in the result. All right, so now actually what we are going to do, so in that case we can use left outer join. All right, but we are going to use left outer join with department as a left table and employee as a right table. All right, so in the left outer join operation we have two tables, one is a left table and one as a right table. So in a left outer join every record from the left table will be in the result. Okay, every record in the left table will appear in the result even it doesn't have any matching result with the right table. All right, so we can use it in a from clause like that, department as D, left outer join employee as E on D dot D number equals to E dot DNO. So in that case every record from the left table will be in the result. Now how the result will look like, as we are selecting F name, L name and D name. So there will be F name, L name and D name. Okay, now as we are saying every department will be there, so 1 2 3 4, let's see, we have 4 departments. Now these 3 department, actually it's D name, so it will be the name. So let's see, just use some name. So research, say B, C and D. Okay, so I'm just using a small department name. So let's say some department doesn't have any employee. Okay, some department D doesn't have any employee. Okay, so in that case the value for L name and right F name will be null. All right, but all the D name will be in the result. Okay, so but we can write it also like as a regular join query. So in that case we are going to write it like that, from department as D, employee as E, and the condition will be like that: D dot D number plus equals to E dot DNO. So here the plus is on the department side. Okay, plus is on the department side, so every department will be in the result. All right, now we can use another type of outer join, right outer join. Okay, so let's say we want to find retrieve the employee names with the name of department they work for. Every employee must appear in the result even they are not currently assigned to any department. Okay, we may have some employee where the DNO value is null. Okay, that means this employee has not been assigned for department, but every employee we want it in the result. So in that case the right outer join is going to work at like that. So there is a left table and there is a right table. So in the right outer join query, every record from the right table will be in the result. All right, so it will look like that: F name, L name and D name. Okay, so we can have some employee where D name equals to null. So the D name equals to null means the DNO null, so that means they do not have any department name, so those result will be padded with null. Okay, and as a regular join query we can write it like that, where the condition will be D dot D number equals to plus E dot DNO. So here plus is on the employee side, so every result from the employee table will be in the so every record from the employee table will be in the join result. Okay, then finally we can have full outer join. Means full outer join means actually like if we want to have the records from both tables. Okay, so full outer join has two tables, left table and right tables, if we want the result from both tables. Okay, whether they have any matching tuples or not. So let's see, the example is we want to retrieve the employee names with the name of department they work for. We want to have every employee and every department must appear in the result. So in that case we have to use the full outer join. So in full outer join, the result from both of the tables, from left tables and right tables, will be in the result. Okay, all right, so in that case let's see, say we have F name, L name from employee and D name from department. Okay, we can have some employee where the DNO is null, so the D name value will be padded with null. Now we can have some department who doesn't have any employee. Okay, so for that department, okay, the F name, L name will be padded with null. Okay, that's how we can show the result of every employee and every department. Now using a regular join query we can write it like that. The join condition will looks like the plus side will be on both sides. Okay, so D dot D number plus equals to plus E dot DNO. So the plus is on both department side and employee side, so the result from department every result from department table and every result from employee table will be there. So the final join operation will see natural join. So the natural join is actually is going to work like that. So if we have two tables, and if the join attributes in both tables have the same name, then the join condition can be left out. Okay, so in that case we can use natural join, and the natural join is going to work on two attribute where they have the same name. All right, for example, let's see, we have a employee table where the attribute name is DNO, and we have a department table where we have the department number attribute name is also DNO. So we have two tables where the attribute name is same. Okay, now if we write a natural join like that, employee okay, so employee natural join department, in that case the natural join is going to be implemented on the attribute where the attribute name is the same. Okay, so by default it will create a join condition. Okay, based it is going to create a join condition on the attribute, okay, which has the same name. Okay, on the DNO attribute from the both tables. So in that case we can actually skip or we can omit the join condition. All right, so we can just simply write select star from employee natural join department. So this is same as writing a inner join with a join condition based on the attribute from the tables. Okay, but if the tables has the attribute with the same name, in that case we can skip the join condition and we can implement a natural join. So in that case the join condition will be implemented by default. It will be implemented on the attribute that has the same name. All right, so let's see, in the company table we have department. In the department table the attribute name is DNO. Okay, but if we rename the D number attribute with DNO, we can just simply implement the natural join. So it will look like that. From department as D, we know we can actually rename all the attribute name. All right, so D as department name DNO, so we are renaming the department number D number attribute with DNO. Okay, then we can implement natural join with employee. Okay, as all the attribute renaming. So here it was already DNO, but we are showing actually how we can implement the natural join. Okay, so DNO we have the same attribute name, so by default this is going to create a join operation, and it is going to find the relevant tuple where we have a matching tuple from the DNO from department as DNO from the employee. So let's see some other example. Say we want to retrieve the employee name and the name of their direct supervisor. So the employee name and their direct supervisor both are actually from the same tables. Okay, and here we have to implement a inner join. All right, but we have to do the join with the same table. Okay, so the same query actually we saw in our last chapter, but here we are going to implement a inner join, and we are going to write the joined relation as a from clause. Okay, so we can write it like that: select attribute name from the joined relation in the from clause. It will look like that: employee E inner join employee as S. Okay, where E dot super SSN on means we are going to use the on operation on E dot super SSN equals to S dot SSN. So this one is going to create a temporary joint relation, and that from temporary joint relation we can select the set of attributes. Okay, Now if we want to find an employee with no supervisor, okay, so if we find an employee that doesn't have any supervisor, they will not be found in from this inner join query. Okay, if we want to see every employee whether he has a supervisor or not, in that case we have to write a outer join. Okay, now here we are using employee left outer join employee s. So this employee is going to give all the employee even it has a supervisor or not. Okay, so that's why we are using left outer join, but the left table is the employee as e. Okay, and we are going to find the super SSN with the SSN from the supervisor. So this query is going to find out all the employee and department who works in a research department. Okay, and this table can be written as like this. Okay, so we are going to use the temporary joint relation with the from clause. Okay, and then we can implement then we can use another selection condition. Okay, so from employee join department on d number equals to dno. Okay, so this will create a temporary joint relation, and that from joint relation we can implement another selection condition. Okay, and from that temporary selection condition, and we can select a list of attributes from that joint relation based on a selection condition. Okay, so this is also another so this is also another example of join condition, but you can see here we are doing a nested join. So the first join is going to do the join with project and department on d number, dnum equals to d number. This will create a temporary join relation, okay, with project and department. Okay, project and department based on this join condition, and with that also we can create another join condition. We can create another join condition with employee. Okay, and based on a condition manager SSN equals to SSN, and that's also we can do. We can I mean it's like a temporary joint relation, and with that temporary joint relation we can implement another join operation. Okay, so these are the example of all type of join, and we saw in this segment that we can use the joint relation as a from clause. Okay.